All right, now we're going to break down Michigan State, Nebraska. I already gave my prediction, so we'll talk about that, exactly why I think that, and, you know, what's the big matchup in this game, what's going to make the difference, and let's get started. So last week, Michigan State, they had an emotional victory against Wisconsin. They played very well, I'd say. Besides the first and the fourth quarter, where they allowed 28 points, their defense played sharp, got turnovers. Monty Ball was injured, which helped because when he was in there. Wisconsin did a good job of pounding the run on them. They still had like 220 yards. Russell Wilson threw 2 picks, a punt blocked for a touchdown, a field goal block, a safety. So 0 penalties too, which is never going to happen again for Michigan State because Golston's going to be back. But, it was pretty much a perfect storm for them. And I thought after I watched the first 5 minutes when Wisconsin took it 14-0, I was like, this is going to be a walk in the park. I come back and turn it on, and there's a safety, and I'm like, crap, it's 14-2. And then they break a huge run with Bell, and it's getting close, and then I turn it back on, and they've got the lead, 16-14. I'm like, what the heck? And then they get a punt block, and I was like, crap, it's a touchdown. And just like that, they're up 23-14. And, they played good. But now they got to go play Nebraska. And let's get started talking about that. Okay, well, Michigan State, of course, they came off those 2 victories against Michigan, Wisconsin. Don't forget the Ohio State game, too, which was also another emotional win. But, their offense is getting better. They do rank last in rushing yards in the Big Ten, but that doesn't mean Edwin Baker, Le'Veon Bell, and Larry Caper can't run the ball. I mean, yeah, they only average 138 yards a game, but Nebraska's defense hasn't played very well against the run. They do a good job playing balance. Kirk Cousins does a pretty good job of, keeping the ball away from opponents and not turning over. And they got some good wide receivers out there, B.J. Cunningham and Keyshawn Martin. They got great size, good hands. That's going to be a matchup to watch. And, Cousins, this is his 3rd year as a starter, and he's the captain. He's gonna try and lead this team. But let's look at some more matchups, okay? So let's compare Nebraska's wide receiving core to Michigan State's. If you look at Michigan State's in terms of experience, a heck of a lot more. The only guy that has experience on Nebraska's receiving core is Kenny, and he was the most struggling receiver so far this year. If Nebraska can't find a way to catch those deep balls like they did against Minnesota, it's going to be a tough day. But so I definitely give Michigan State the edge there. Running backs, there's the trio at Michigan State, but I'll take Rex Burkhead over anybody. And plus, Nebraska's got 3 backups that they'll put in, 3 true freshmen that play well. They haven't really turned the ball over. The freshmen haven't really fumbled. And then they also got Taylor Martinez on the ground. So I definitely give it the edge for rushing in terms of Nebraska, because that's what they do. But now when we look at quarterbacks, Cousins is a lot more efficient through the air. He's not a scrambler. No question about that. He's not a scrambler. But he has great pocket presence. Watch him play. He knows how to get out of the pocket, make plays. He's not going to try and scramble for the first down unless he has opportunity to. But he's not going to. That's not the first thing he's thinking about doing. He feels the pressure very well. On the other hand, you got Martinez, he's a run-first quarterback. He's been doing a lot better. The game against Minnesota, there's a couple deep balls he missed, but there's a couple deep balls that should have been caught too. He should have thrown for 70% in that game, but there were some drop passes, didn't help. So I'm going to give the edge to Kirk Cousins in terms of that kind of stuff, but in terms of big play, Taylor Martinez can make the big play with his feet, and the run game is going to allow some big plays deep, I believe. If we compare defenses, Nebraska's defense is without Jared Crick. And even with Jared Crick, they weren't even, they're building some confidence, but they're still young. but Michigan State's defense is very blitz heavy, and they've played well so far. I think number 2 in the nation overall, and best defense in the Big Ten by far, I think. And Colston and Worthy play very well, and you got to watch out for them. Terrell Worthy's a monster, and he might create some headaches for Nebraska up front. Because Nebraska's, if you look at the offensive lines, Michigan State's got a young offensive line. That's why they haven't been able to run the ball very well, is because their offensive line, they've had some injuries. So they're really young up front. But Nebraska's young up front too. And they've got a rotation that's been working. They run the ball very well. And I give the edge to Nebraska in terms of offensive line. So, if we look at everything, it's pretty much a split. The defense of the Spartans' defense has big edge over Nebraska's defense, no question. Nebraska's secondary is getting better. I think when I watched the Wisconsin game, in the first half, Nebraska did a pretty decent job against the run, I'd say. It was the second half where the Wisconsin defense just wore down Nebraska. The Wisconsin offense just wore down Nebraska's defense, because Nebraska's offense decided to come out and pass it 15 times straight. That's no excuse for a defense not making plays. Now, the difference between Nebraska and Michigan State is Michigan State's defense makes turnovers. They cause turnovers. Nebraska's defense hasn't done a great job of that. Besides last week when Austin Cassidy returned for a touchdown, they haven't done a good job of creating turnovers. So, if we look at this game, Michigan State is coming off a huge win. Very emotional. 2 wins in a row. So is there going to be a hangover? I think there's going to be a slight hangover in the first quarter, first half. And I'm going to give a prediction. It might seem a little crazy. I think in the first drive, Nebraska's going to break a big run. And Nebraska's going to go into the second quarter with a 10-0 lead. Michigan State's offense is going to come out a little slow. And Nebraska's defense is going to come out to play. But in the second half, that offense of the Spartans is going to get that run game clicking, get some play action, maybe even spread Nebraska out and pass the ball. But Nebraska's offenses, they talked about they run or no huddle at 3 different speeds. The majority of it's been, the slower speed or the medium speed. Last week, I saw a pretty fast speed. They were getting the ball snapped around 13 to 15 seconds in the first half against Minnesota, which is very, very tiring on defenses, and could play a huge factor in the second half. Especially Nebraska likes to get up there and get set, and then they read the defense. And Michigan State's a team that likes to blitz. That's what they do. That's why they have 32 tackles for loss in the last 3 games. And that's why Nebraska only has 30, because they don't blitz and they don't get in the backfield and create tackles for loss. But with that blitz, Nebraska's going to have some plays open downfield. Tim Martinez is going to have to use his arm. Nebraska pulled out a play last week against Minnesota, a jailbreak screen. Minnesota's blitzing. This play always works great against blitz. Wide receiver comes across, 3 offensive linemen go out and block, and get the pass off, and we got about, I think it was a 40-something yard run after the catch, because it was like a 5-yard pass. Expect to see some of that. So definitely some quick passes with that blitzing and trying to get the ball in Kenny Bell, Jamal Turner's, Tim Marlowe's, Quincy Nunez, and Brandon Kenny's hands. But I really expect Rex Burkhead to step up and take this game. He's gonna be the captain to lead this. Expect the Wildcat. Also, I think at halftime it's be a 13-6. And then let's say Nebraska gets the ball to start the second half. I think they're going to march right down the field and have a good drive. I think they're going to have a really quick no-huddle. And then we're going to see Michigan State's offense come right down the field. That's going to be a really long consuming drive. I think they're going to get that run game really clicking, like a 6-minute drive. And Michigan State's a team that likes to run like two pass routes, meaning they're dropping tight ends for max protect, or a running back for max protect. And teams that blitz, you're not going to get in the backfield. Nebraska doesn't blitz. So they're going to have to find a way to get pressure. They've struggled getting pressure with blitzing, too. I mean, just a poor job of filling the gaps and stuff. I expect to see Levante David stepping out. But, going into the fourth quarter, it's going to be a 27-13 game. 2013 game, Michigan State's feeling good. And then I think Amir Abdul is going to get a kick return after that touchdown. And, that's going to set up good field position. Nebraska is going to march down the field, take some time off, tire out that defense, and go up 27-13. And you're going to see the veteran and Kirk Cousins come out, and he's going to drive him down the field. And it's going to be a 7-point game with time left. And then I think Nebraska is able to take out the clock with Rex Burkhead because, he plays his best game in the second half. Nebraska plays their best game in the third quarter. And don't expect nothing less this week. So I got Nebraska winning this one 27-20. Take it or not, that's what I believe. Yes, I am a Nebraska fan, but I could see this as Michigan State coming out not emotionally down, emotionally high, and come out flat and, cream Nebraska potentially. But then I could also see it the other way where Nebraska creams Michigan State because they're just hungover. But, we'll see what we get, and that's it. Check back. I should have some video up Saturday after the game, and then Week 10 predictions as Alabama plays LSU. Thanks.